How everybody do? I really wish I was skating right now, but it's raining outside and I'm fixing to put out a banger. So let's talk colors. Last summer, me and a couple buds made a collab telling the story of a water mill throughout the seasons. Naturally, in a collab like this, color choice is the most important thing. But why is that? And why did we choose the ones we did? By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly why things look the way they do, and you're going to get a good explanation of LEGO colors. It's the complete color guide. Disclaimer here, despite calling myself an artist, I haven't actually taken art classes. So when it comes to the technical spinning wheel color mumbo jumbo, I'm clueless. Kaylee or OLEGO actually made a really good video talking about all this. And so if you want like a smart color breakdown, then ask her. Call me a hippie, call me what you want, but like in this video, forget that sciencey stuff. We're going off the feels. I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible, but LEGO has had a really long history with tons of colors popping in and popping out throughout the years. So let me just start with the basics. Orange, yellow, red, blue, and green. They're the most simple colors you can get. They've been around for the longest, and they're definitely the most recognizable. And because of that, they can start to look a little boring in your builds. Now, I'm a big fan of these colors, and I think they should definitely be used, but LEGO has made a ton of other colors, so it might be smart to look into some of the more complicated shades. Colors like the dark shades. Now, these contrast really well with their counterparts, and together they can make really fun vibes. Or maybe what you really need is some more life, some colors to brighten up your build. I don't exactly know what these are called in the art world, but I like to call them the Easter colors. I mean, for obvious reasons. Yo, that is not okay, Mr. Bunny. To set the record straight, these colors are bright light yellow, pink, light aqua, and yellowish green. You probably noticed that the color pink here doesn't look exactly like the pink you have at home. This color was replaced by bright pink in 2005. Funny enough, the original pink is brighter. What's up with that? This wasn't the only color change to appear in LEGO's history. The most common well-known ones are light gray and dark gray being replaced with light bluish gray and dark bluish gray. Got the same thing with brown being replaced with reddish brown. And for the true homies that remember the OG purple, man, they gotta bring it back one day. When it comes to rare colors, none are more known than the sand colors. Sand purple, sand red, sand blue, sand green. Yeah, people go crazy for these colors. Sand blue and sand green are beautiful and you can still buy them in sets today, but sand red and sand purple are discontinued. All these colors were pretty prevalent in the Life on Mars theme, and most parts in sand red and sand purple only came in about 1 or 2 sets. The main reason I'm making this video is I tend to forget the blue colors. There's so many of them. This isn't even all of them. There's like a lot more. But these are the main ones that I have. We got dark blue, blue, dark azure, Maersk blue, medium blue, light azure, bright light blue, and dark turquoise or teal. Oh, because I know someone's gonna try to correct me. There's also a light turquoise, so that's kind of hype. Yeesh. There's a lot of blues. But that's part of the reason why it's such a fun color to work with. This Maersk blue was a really weird one-off. Hold up. I gotta research this real quick. Yeah, so it looks like this has been like a long-running partnership with like multiple sets going across multiple years. But the weird thing is like the new one doesn't even use Maersk blue. So what's with this? Anyways, thanks, Miner. This is pretty lovely rare color. For those that know me, some of my favorite colors dwell on the green spectrum. We got dark green, green, bright green, medium green, yellowish green, sand green, lime, and olive. Now, we may not have as many greens as we do blues, but with the ones we have, there's tons of possibilities with landscaping and nature scenes. Okay, and we really can't forget light green. This color might not be super viable because it doesn't come in a lot of good parts, but it's just such a beautiful shade, and it's one of my favorite colors. I didn't even come close to naming all the LEGO colors. Like, there's a lot of girls themes in LEGO's history, and every time that happens, tons of colors get introduced. If you want to find a good place to get all your colors straight, go to the Bricklink color catalog. They have a really nice chart and a lot of resources to help you out there. Now that you know the colors, I think it's time I show you how to use them. Yo, so out of the 4 seasons, I just had to pick fall. I gotta give credit where credit's due. A lot of the colors in this build were inspired from the 90s Moomin series. Now, I used to be able to say, leave a dislike on this video if you like Moomin, but YouTube removed the dislike button. So I guess you'll have to leave a like. I think the best way to understand this color scheme is to look at the landscape. This landscape incorporates contrast and blending. Basically, we got the color bright light orange and the color dark red. These colors are very opposite from each other, and if all I used was these 2 colors, the landscape would look really weird and unnatural. So let's mix in some medium orange. This is a great color that looks exactly like bright light orange, just a little oranger. And then for dark red, let's put in some dark orange. Here we have a perfect gradient from one side of the spectrum to the other. And that's really how you do it. The bright light orange and the dark red work as the points of interest in the main call to the build, and then the other 2 colors just help blend in the background. This isn't just a one-off principle though. The yellows and oranges over here contrast a lot with the blue and dark green. So what's a good easy balance between that? Olive. This makes sense landscape-wise, and it also makes a really nice color scheme. I'm sure you guys get it at this point, but I didn't just contrast and blend the landscape. You can also see it going into works with the building itself. White to dark tan is a really nice color combo if you can blend it together. And in this case, I used bright light yellow and tan. But because there's so many colors in these type shades, you can go off when it comes to this transition. Putting these walls side by side, it becomes perfectly clear how ugly an unblended contrast color scheme can look. And for those wondering, yes, I used a lot of dirty and sun-tanned parts in this transition. I even used some light nougat, which is the white minifigure skin color. Sorry, Sam. That's enough of me blabbering on. There's 3 other people in this collab that are pretty hyped to share with you their secrets, so listen up.
Hello, I'm Mark, or Ambrix, and for my season of spring, I wanted to use a lot of greens, and by a lot of greens, I mean every green I had available on hand. An important thing I felt when trying to work with so much of the same color was to not just dump everything on the build, but to really figure out which greens would fit best in certain parts of the build. Starting with the terrain, I was really inspired by some of the great art that Dan had found.
Yeah, that's right. Got these boys from Moomin.
The chilly spring morning vibes was exactly what I wanted to try to capture in bricks. When it came to the terrain, lime, olive, and sand green just looked right to me. Then some white and bright light blue as snow patches really tied it all together, I feel. The water needed to contrast with the terrain. I felt the dark green, regular green, and transparent brown really blended well to show a murkier river water. From the very start, I'd wanted to use the new spring and lime green leaves that just released in Ninjago City Gardens, and I think that those colors and trees really worked well to top the whole build off.
Hey, my name is Kit and I designed the winter section. Right from the start, I wanted the scene to have a distinct blue hue to represent the winter and night setting, so I worked with a cold colour palette. This atmosphere would also contrast nicely with Dan's autumnal colours. To do this, I used a range of different blue shades as highlights in the landscape. I integrated sand blue to blend in with the rocks and light aqua for highlights in the snow. The house is very worn in now, with tan and bright yellow bricks, which both complement the blue well due to its kind of yellowy tone. Another part I had to work with is the time of day. Whereas Mark's is sunrise and Dan's is sunset, mine is in the nighttime. I knew getting a good photo would be hard, so I altered the colour palette to accommodate more shadows. I worked with dark colours, so your dark browns, your dark blues, your dark greens, to achieve this. I really enjoy working with these since they all blend in well together. I use these best in the water and the roof of the house. The dark shades are very central and dominant in the final composition, again emphasizing the night theme.
Hey, I'm Francis, also known as Hubba Blubba, and for the collab I chose to build summer, so I needed to capture the vibrant greens and warm atmosphere that came with. Now, using all these crazy colors is nice and all, but you can use some simple colors, like green or medium blue, to make some awesome builds. Use a light source, in my case I use sunlight, to create the gradients for you. I achieved the effect of sunlight by placing my build right next to my window. Then I added some leaves behind the build out of the camera view. Then I waited until just the right time of day when the sunlight was perfect. Not too bright, so it wouldn't wash out the colors too much, but just enough, so it stood out and didn't look like someone shined a dim flashlight on the build. Yellow flowers would also work pretty well with the bright green and blue, so I included just a few of those in front of the watermill, just to make the color scheme a bit more interesting.
Thanks, Francis. Oh, and Mark and Kit too. I feel like I gotta really spend the time here to talk to you guys. If you don't follow these people, you're really missing out. They're some of my favorite people in this whole wide world, and the stuff they build is just mind-boggling. So I'd go give them a follow, like for real though. I really like how Mark stressed the importance of color blocking and getting all your colors in the right positions. And then when Kit was talking about using colors to get the right tone in your build, that was really smart. Francis talking about lighting was a big one. I feel like I'd have to make a whole video separate on this topic. So if you guys want to see that, definitely tell me in the comments. But overall, this was a super fun collab, and I'm really happy with how we all did. Alright, let's start wrapping up. What'd you learn today, class? If I showed you this build, what would you tell me is wrong about it? Alright, first off, none of these colors blend well. Green on sand green is a pretty poor looking combo in most cases, and then sand green and brown don't really have much alike, and then adding blue in there, just like none of these colors work well together. The tree, although sometimes dark brown and bright light orange leaves work naturally, in this case, because none of these colors blend with the rest of the build, it looks awful. And so how can we fix this? I don't know. I would change the grass to olive and then maybe add in some old brown or medium nougat to the dirt texture just so it blends better with the sand green. I try to mix in some lighter, more diverse colors for the water, and for the tree, I would go with a white color because white really looks nice with the sand green and the rest of the colors we have here, and it just feels more realistic with that type of birch tree. You guys must be Lego building pros by now. If you were sad that I didn't explain some of the deep techniques I used for my fall mill build, then look closely in this video. You might see a link to something that I had to make when I was showing the other collaborators how to build the mill. I don't know, it might be there. Not saying, but I'm saying. If you guys are still looking for some good examples of great color schemes, I'd check out Excluse and Simon NH on Flickr and Instagram. These guys are crazy with their color schemes, and they seem to be leading the way when it comes to finding new ones. So I'd give them a look. I'd like to make it clear that all my thoughts in this video are just that, thoughts and opinions. So if you guys disagree with me, I'd like to hear in the comments. Most of the stuff I said today are tips for more natural color schemes, but I realize that not everything is meant to look natural. So don't feel scared to just make up your own rules and figure things out on your own. It's been a blast, but I think the rain's finally cleared out, and I've got a 4-star calling my name. So, wish you guys well. I'm really excited to see what you think of this video, and if it helps. See ya.
How everybody do?